What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to take my Civic Type R, raise it up, take the wheels off, and change the brake pads on the Civic Type R, as well as we're going to bleed the system. We're going to put in new fluids. Now, if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, you may have missed a previous video, so please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. But in the previous video, I took this car from the factory, didn't touch it, took it to the track to see how it would do. We figured out that the factory brake system is not really up to par. The brake pads are not high temp, and the brake fluid is definitely not high temp brake fluid. So we're going to rectify that before my next track day, which is actually tomorrow. And I'm going to bring you guys along. There is an updated way that I'm doing my brake pad changes. If you guys have seen the previous video, my FK8 Civic Type R, back in 2017, seems like a lifetime ago, I changed the brake pads on that, and I didn't use the computer. I didn't use the Autel computer that I have. I'll show you guys what that is, to put the rear brakes in maintenance mode. I recommend that we do that going forward, and I'll show you guys an inexpensive computer that it really doesn't cost that much, so that you can put your brake pads in maintenance mode, or the rear ones in maintenance mode, so you don't screw up your electronic parking brake system. Of course, first order of business is getting this Camaro out of the way. But I'm going to put everything right here, and all the links, I'm going to try to get all the links in the description below. So take a look down there for everything that's here. You can buy them in different areas, maybe Amazon, or I'll find them wherever I can. So let's go ahead and get started. I have my trusty impact gun. This is not the right size. The right size is here, but we'll get there. These are, of course, the brake pads, and I'm using Hawk brake pads, DTC 60s for the front, DTC 30s over there for the back. And this is the brake pad I recommend everybody to buy. If they had DTC 60s in this size, I would get them, but I don't think they do yet. So here's the part number there. And the part number here is, here it is. Sorry, these are DTC 70s, not 60s, but this is the part number for what it's worth. This is the Castrol SRF. Love this Castrol SRF. It's the best. It's got the biggest blend of longevity and high temp ability. Motul has a really good one as well, but if all you want to do is do this once, every, let's say 5 to 10 track days, or if you do, less than 5 to 10 track days a year, if you don't want to do it once a year, this is the one I would use. It's less hygroscopic, so it's going to absorb less water than the Motul, so that's why I choose that one. Some zip ties, you can never have enough zip ties. This is my brake pad tool. I've changed a lot of brake pads with this thing on many different cars for my family, for myself, etc. You're going to want some paper towels. You're going to want some gloves. Here's a rag. This punch set. This is a, what is this? A pin punch set. You don't strictly need this. You can get away with using just a Phillips head for taking out the front pads, but I liked this a lot. And since I assume I'm going to be changing brake pads on this quite a lot, well, this and the Camaro, which is out there somewhere, there it is. Since I assume I'm going to be changing brake pads on Brembo style brakes for quite a while and often, I might as well get a nice punch set. These are the brake pads. The hammer is for the punch set. This right here will torque the lug nuts to the appropriate torque setting, and it's very quick, so it's set to 100 right now. I believe I'll set it to 120 later on. This right here, I'm going to replace the wheel locks, or the security locks that they put on these cars from the factory. They forced me to pay for them. It was like $150 or whatever it was. I hate them, as you guys know, so I'm going to replace them with the factory lug nuts. I'm glad they gave them to me. So this is the key. You know, I may give these away to a subscriber one of these days if you really want wheel locks. I don't need them here. I live in the middle of nowhere, so it is what it is. But here that is. This is my metric wrench set, and this is the computer system I was talking to you about. This is an Autel MD806 Pro. This will do everything you need for the Civic Type R, including putting those rear brakes in maintenance mode. I'll show you guys when I do that later on. I'll put it on video. But simply, you put this in, you put it in service mode. There's a service mode on this. And then when you plug it in, service mode, it'll actually actuate the rear emergency brake system and allow you to change the brake pads, and then it'll actuate back so you're not damaging anything, because it is possible to damage these if you don't do it properly, unless you have that. I mean, there's other procedures. You can take the motor out as well if you don't want to buy that tool, but it's $170 I think I paid for that. Again, I'll put a link in the description below, but this has been very useful for me. I've used this for my BMWs, I've used this for my Camaro, and I've used this for the Civic Type R, and it's still doing really well today. I have a much more expensive and nicer system that I rarely use. This has everything I basically need. And that's about it. So I'm going to use my quick jacks with the extenders on it. And I'll do a review on these at some point. But you need the extension because this is a large car now. This is like a minivan. It's got a lot of size and it's not very heavy, but it's got a lot of space in there. So I'm glad. But in order to use these quick jacks, I needed to get the extenders, so I got those. I'll put them under there, I'll lock them in, and we'll be all set. So you're going to watch me change the brake pads and bleed the brake fluid. I also have a where is it? Let me go find it. Well then, that whole let me go get it real quick turned out to be an hour-and-a-half project. So I bought this, and I bought it with a GM cap for my Camaro. Obviously, this fits the Camaro very nicely. It did not have provisions for the Civic or any Hondas, so I bought that cap right there, and I thought that's all I needed. Unfortunately, this pipe that comes with motive is not compatible with that cap. So I went to Harbor Freight. I bought this airline here for $4. I cut it off, and I'll show you guys what I did over there, but I cut it off, and I put the cap that's in the link below into that air hose, and this screws right into this air hose. And I just pumped it up a little bit. It's only a 5 psi, but I can pump it up some more. You know, it'll give you some psi there, and this is what's left over. That's all I did. So those are the things you'll need to change the brake pads on the Civic Type R. My apologies, there's one more tool I forgot to cover, and it's this Allen key. It is 7 millimeters, and it goes for the rear caliper. So there you have it. There's a whole list. Again, everything's down in the description for you guys. You guys can buy everything you need down there. I'm going to show you guys how to use this thing. So you're going to plug this in. OBD2 is right there. Very easy to find. You just plug that in there. Turn the car into the ignition on. You don't turn the car on. The ignition's on. Parking brake is off. Here's how the car sits right now. So parking brake is off. Then there you go. Hit OK. Pick Honda. This is what you'll see. And so you're going to go to Adjustment, Brake Pad Maintenance Mode. And then Brake Pad Maintenance Mode. And hit OK to start. And you'll hear the electronic park brake motors actuate. Well, there you have it. After I slapped on the brakes and bled the brake system, as you guys saw me do, I went ahead and plugged in the Autel MD806. I put it back to normal mode, away from maintenance mode. Go back into the video, I show you guys how to get to that screen. Simple as pressing the buttons and hit OK. And that's about it, guys. I hope it was helpful. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace.